and right before I left, I just realized how much he was pitting us against each other, which was really hurtful to me because I'd always approached the relationship as like trying to do the best I could. So knowing that he was like doing those kind of maneuverings behind my back was really hurtful.
How do you feel about Hef now?
I mean, my feelings aren't particularly positive, but when I left the relationship, I just kind of like my feelings turned off because I just had an awakening and a realization that he wasn't the person I had built up in my mind. Like I built up this really positive image of him. And when I couldn't fool myself anymore and real life was just showing me otherwise, I just kind of turned that off. And he was almost like a statue in my mind, or if that makes sense. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, I'm sure. And how long did it take for you to get back your self-confidence and feel like yourself again?
Oh my God. I mean, it took years after I left for me to get back my self-confidence. And it came in like starts and stops too. Like when I left, I was just in survival mode, like trying to build a career for myself instantly. And I was really successful with that for a while. And I was just really like living through my work and my friends and going out and having fun. But as time goes on, eventually you have to address like your past trauma. So then that kind of took me down a notch for a while, but now I'm kind of getting back again. So it's not like a linear ascension, unfortunately, but.
Right. Do you regret it? I mean, obviously, you know, certain things have come your way from it, but obviously, like you said, you still suffer a lot of trauma from it, have nightmares from it. But do you have happy memories from the show? Do you regret the whole experience?
I mean, I can't really say I regret the whole experience because it was something that I wanted to do. And I think all the bad things I went through were just things I had to learn in this lifetime. So even though I would not want to go back and do them again, I think it's all part of my life journey. And I did, you know, get a lot of positive things out of it and a lot of positive female friendships. And I had good times hanging out with the girls. So I do have those things to take away. So I can't really say I regret it, although I wouldn't want to do it again, if that makes sense.
Totally. You know, you said you have a lot of positive female friendships that came of it, but you also said that the women were pitted against each other. Did you feel like that was because of Hef? Was that because of producers? Was it a little bit of a mix of both? And looking back, is that something that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened? And I know that you said you were gaslit throughout the relationship as well. So kind of a mix of all of that. It's got to be pretty, you know, traumatic.
Yeah, it was definitely a mix of that. You know, for so many years when I was living at the mansion, I always had this image of Hef being this amazing person. Any problems I blamed on the other women. I was like, oh, well, they're just off. You know, if they were gone, everything would be perfect. But of course it wasn't. And that wasn't the case. And over the years and right before I left, I just realized how much he was pitting us against each other, which was really hurtful to me because I'd always approached the relationship as like trying to do the best I could. So knowing that he was like doing those kind of maneuverings behind my back was really hurtful. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely him. And even after I left the mansion, I continued to do a spinoff at E! And according to the contract I'd signed previously, I had to work with the same producers as who did Girls Next Door. And that producer would like pit us against each other. And it led to like Kendra and I not getting along. So it's a lot of manipulation.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned Kendra. I mean, looking back and even now, do you regret how things kind of went down between the two of you? Because I guess that you still don't have any sort of relationship with her, right?
I mean, it is really unfortunate. I wish she was more open-minded to the fact that not everybody had the same experience she did at the mansion. And I went through a lot of different things and had to deal with a lot more just being the main girlfriend. And I was there for 4 years before she ever came along, where I had to deal with a lot of drama with Hef and other women and things like that. So it's unfortunate, but you know, she has to learn what she has to learn in this lifetime. So we're all on a different path, I guess.
Would you want to have her on the podcast to kind of sit down and hash things out? And do you ever foresee that happening?
Yeah, Bridget and I always say she's totally welcome to come on the podcast if there's anything she wants to talk about or clarify. But I have heard her say in the media that she doesn't like talking about Playboy stuff and just kind of wants to move on. So I definitely respect that as well. I've been in that phase in my life before, and it's really hard because it's kind of all anybody else wants to talk about. So I definitely respect her decision, but she is welcome to come on if she ever wants to.